back to my channel. This is Shanice here, and you are here at Septembre Love. I'm so glad you guys could hang out with me today. Today is going to be a little bit different. I have my first story time that I'm posting today, but before I hop into my story for the day, I want you guys to head over to my blog at some point. It is septembrelove.wordpress.com. I'll put the link in the description box below. So check that out when you're finished with this video. I have some posts ranging from different topics. So you guys can go there, check it out, see if you like anything, comment, share it, and follow. Okay? But without further ado, let's hop into the video. So this story is pretty interesting. So I'll give you guys a quick background. So growing up, I'm a Christian, so and this has nothing really to do with Christianity. I think it's more so about just how your parents choose to raise you. And in my household, I was not allowed to have a boyfriend until I was 18. Those are the rules that were given to me. However, my first boyfriend, I was 3 years old. So I didn't really follow the rules. I've always had a boyfriend, always had boyfriends growing up. And I never followed that rule. I remember like my dad being so upset when I told him I had a crush on like a teacher at my school. He was like mad. I was literally 6. I was like, Dad, Mr. Jacobs or whatever is so cute. He's like, no, that, you don't need that. Da, 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 da. Like he got so upset and I was just like, what? Like in my 6-year-old mind, I knew like he's a grown man. I just think he's cute. Like, can you take it easy? But my dad was just not feeling that. And so he was a little bit upset about it. But yeah. Had boyfriends all throughout school, and you know, I got married in grade 3, and I got a little like emoji ring. It was like a happy face ring. Sometimes like Spice Girls were out, so it was grade 3, grade 2. Yeah. And so you used to go to the machine and you get like a little prize of the machine. You put like $1 in, gives you, yeah. So I got one of those. Yeah, I got married, had bridesmaids, the whole shebang at recess time, and then we had to finish the wedding at second recess. So that was great. But yeah, so zooming forward to my teen years, I had boyfriends throughout high school, and it wasn't until I was probably, I want to say 15. So I was 15 years old, and I went to a church conference, and I met this particular boyfriend. So going to this church conference, I had my ex-boyfriend was there because he went to a different church. So he was there, and my whole vibe going to this conference was like, yo, I'm gonna go there, I'm gonna look so cute with my girls, and we're just gonna let him know like he missed a good thing, okay? So don't ever try to ever, you know. So that was my whole mentality going there. So my crew, we used to call ourselves D Squad back then. Standing for Dynasty Squad. Shout out to ya. So, and me and these people, we grew up together and went to the same church and stuff like that. So I got my crew, like, yo guys, I'm like, they knew like I was going there just to like, you know, show up. You have a nice outfit. I had my weave in. It was like my first like, my second like major weave. And it was like a little like wet and wavy action had going on. So it was super cute. Yeah, so I decided to go to this conference and make my ex-boyfriend jealous, not by finding someone new, but just making him jealous, like just looking cute and like wishing like, yo, gotta get her back. Like that's what I wanted him to feel. Anyways, go to this conference, meet this guy there randomly. I had 2 friends that hooked us up, and they both lied to us. We ended up falling for the lie. So like one was like, yeah, he loves you so much, like he wants to be with you. And then the guy was told like, yeah, she's really feeling you, you know, whatever. So we're both like, oh my gosh, so he's feeling me, and he's like, oh, she's feeling me. So, and we both thought like, but they were both lying. Found that out after. So anyways, we met up, whatever, we got together, we started dating maybe like a month after that. So how it worked in my household was that my mom was like super strict. She was the strict one. My dad was the more easygoing one. Like if I like the boyfriend I had before this particular one I'm talking about, my dad knew about him, would like say like, yeah, he can come over if he wants, whatever, as long as I'm home. Like he was all about just doing things respectfully. He didn't want me to sneak around, right? So my dad, I can always tell him like, you know, what was going on and stuff like that. But my mom wasn't quite down for that. So things kind of got a little bit messy. So I had this boyfriend, and he was cute, and he wasn't like typically the guy I would go for. I was like, yeah, I want the bad boys, or ride or die chick. I wanted to be like Charlie Baltimore and Ja Rule. You know the song Down Blank Chick? I love that song. So yeah, I was like, yeah, what does it go? I wanna be your chick. I wanna be down for you. Is that how it goes? Yeah, yeah, that one. You down, chick? Yeah. So I was like, rah da da, and like that those times, like this is like 2007, 2006. So those times it was like you want like ride or die chick, gangsta loving, like that was the vibe. So I loved guys that were like, yo, I'm about to go outside right now, and any man that breathes in my face, like he's about to get a death odds. Like that's the kind of guy I'm like, oh my god, he's so strong. Like I love that. So those are my kind of guys, right? So this guy, he wasn't like that at all. He was a really, really nice guy, and like just like regular, like just normal. And so anyways, we got together, and then it was cute, cute little puppy love and stuff like that. And because I knew I wasn't really allowed to have a boyfriend, because at this time I was 15 turning 16, so I knew the boyfriend thing was out of the question. Like you don't even talk about that. So it was a little bit tricky because I had to find a way to see my boyfriend, of course, and hang out with him and spend time with him so we can actually build this relationship, right? I felt like I was mature enough to have this relationship. We're doing the right things. It's cool. Like, there's no issue. But my mom, as soon as she heard, she's like, no. She was not down for it at all. Anyways, so after a month, we ended up getting together. And then I went to church, I think with my dad. I think I had to, because I was on the worship team at the time. Or that's when I was on the worship team that time, and my dad and I went to like a night service or something like that. And so my friend, we'll call her Cece. So she had a boyfriend, and at this time we had Facebook. Now, even us having Facebook was like a sin. Like, not a sin, not to be dramatic, but it was just, we weren't allowed to have social media like that. Like, all my social media profiles I had when I was a teenager were like secret, because my mom was like, I don't want no one knowing your information, and I don't want them to just, she didn't think it was safe, and she didn't really know much about it, so she wasn't really down for it. My dad, on the other hand, was cool. My dad made my first email address. He's like, you need to get an email address. So they're just very different. They're parenting. So so then now, my friend's like, yeah, so she calls me, and I think my mom called my dad, I think that's how it went. And my mom was like asking me questions over the phone, like, do you have a Facebook? And I'm like, why? Right? I'm obviously saying why because I'm not with her. So if I was in front of her face, maybe I wouldn't say that. Maybe I would, I don't know. But I was like, why? And she's like, do you have a Facebook? She's like, I'll talk to you when you get home. So I was like, oh my gosh. So I think my friend Cece messaged me, and she was like, yo, my mom found my Facebook, and she found yours too. And she's like so mad. She called your mom and whatever. So before I get home, I'm already getting debriefed on like what's to come. So I'm like, oh my gosh. Keep in mind, this, so a couple days before this, I met up with my new boyfriend. My mom didn't know. So put up pictures, holding hands, hubby and wifey forever. You are the light of my life. You are the this, the that. Like, it was just like all over. My relationship status was changed to taken, honey. And then I think his name was, but you can say like taken by or dating, whatever. I had all my information on there, like literally everything. And so that, like, even if my kid had all the information, I'm like, can you relax? Like, put a 1, 2. Like, everything at school, birthday, where I was born, like everything. So I went to see him. He lived in a city like next to mine. So I took the bus with my godbrother, and we went with one of my friends from my crew, and I went to see him. We all worked it out. And we just went for a walk. Like, we didn't do anything. We just went for a walk, just talked. This was like the first time we saw each other after like he asked me to be his girl. So it was a big deal. So I posted these pictures on Facebook. So I'm like, shoot, those pictures are on there. So I'm like, there's nothing I can do. It's not like now we have smartphones where I can go on my phone and delete it before she sees it. Like, it's done. So anyhow, so Cece calls me and she tells me that. So I'm kind of like, I think I was probably like talking to my dad about it in the car, and I was like already getting like tense because I knew like what was to come. So I go in the house, I go in the kitchen, and she goes, Cece's mom just called me and told me you guys have Facebook and all of, oh yeah, my mom's Jamaican, by the way. And so when she's upset, she has the accent, the patois comes out. So she's like, all your information on Facebook, everybody can see everything. And and I was like, okay. She's like, let me see your Facebook. I don't know if any of you have had that moment where they said, let me see you're like, no, oh my gosh. Or they go in your room and they try to clean your room and you can't do anything. My heart to my toes, because you don't know what they're gonna find. You know what if what you have is gonna be a problem to them. Like, it's just like, bro, like, oh my gosh. So so she's like, yeah, let me see your Facebook. So I'm like, oh my gosh. So I go upstairs. So we had a computer room, so we had an office upstairs. So I go in there, and then so she's like, sign in, and I'm like, okay. So I start signing in or whatever, and then she goes, get up. So she wants to basically navigate my page. She doesn't want me to try to hide anything or whatever. In my head, I'm like, okay, she's gonna see these pictures of me and this guy. He is my boyfriend. I'm currently 15. I have 3 more years until I'm allowed to have a boyfriend. So I'm a little bit in the wrong here. Okay, so like I knew that. So in my head, I'm kind of like thinking, okay, how am I gonna do this? Am I gonna lie about it? Am I going to just be honest? Because like, what can you do? It's in front of her face. Like, I didn't know. So she was there like, how you figure out these things? Could not figure it out. So I had to be over her shoulder telling her, okay, yeah, press this, go here, do that, whatever, right? So she finally gets to my photos. So obviously she sees my photos and sees the pictures of me and they're fine, and sees pictures of me and this guy. My heart dropped. And keep in mind, my dad was gone. Like, I think he went to like their room or something like that. Like, he was like MIA, like do. And my dad knew about this guy from the beginning. I always told my dad about my boyfriends just because I just felt like I didn't want to live my life in secret like that. Like, I didn't want to, but I knew that my mom was not gonna hear it. So my dad was willing to at least hear it. And if I told him like, oh yeah, like, Dad, I saw this guy, or like this guy, like, my dad would give me advice. And like, it's good to have like your parent involved, because be real, like, as a teenager, you're gonna have a boyfriend. Like, what? Like, and you're gonna break up with them most likely. There's most likely not gonna last forever, but this is just a part of growing up. That's how I see it. And exploring that part of your life and yourself, right? So my dad was more open to hearing what I had to say, and so I would tell him stuff, whatever. I look around, maybe I see him nowhere. Gone. He's gone. So I didn't see him anywhere. Okay? So I'm standing there and I'm like, oh gosh. So she sees the pictures of him and I, and then she's reading the caption, hubby and wifey forever. And it's forever. So she's like, what does that mean, hubby and wifey forever? Who is this? And it was just a picture of her hands. And I'm like, my friend. She goes, so you call your friend hubby? I'm like, yeah. And then she's like, okay. It's just scrolling. There's another picture of us holding hands and walking, but it's just our backs, right? And you just do the edits and stuff. So we're like walking through the sunlight, whatever. So she's like, so is this the same guy? I'm like, yes. So scroll. So I'm like, oh my, just stop it. So then she's scrolling somewhere. And then she's like, she goes, so, and there's a picture of our faces. And I was like, oh Lord. And I had like this whole like long paragraph, like, love of my life, da-na-na-na-na. Keep in mind, it's only been like maybe 2 months by this point, or like a month or whatever. And then she goes, so this is a friend of yours. This is your friend. Oh my gosh, like, okay. Obviously by this point, like, it's like, duh, like, you know who this person is, like, you know it's my boyfriend or whatever the case is. So she's like, so and like stumbling on her words. so this is your, so, so, I'm just standing there like, oh my God. I was like, okay, mom, like in my head, I'm like, mom, you obviously know who it is. Like, she didn't know him like at all, but she knew, like, you know who he is to me. Like, come on, man. Like, and I already lied twice. Like, yeah, just my friend, just my friend. And then so she's like, so who, okay, now, who is this guy to you now? Who is this? This is the same guy in the other pictures. Who is this guy to you? And I'm like, it's my boyfriend, mom. Boyfriend? Your boyfriend? And I'm like, yes, it's my boyfriend. In my mind, honestly, I'm not going to lie. Clearly, even though I already did, clearly that is what's happening here. Okay? so she's like, so she goes, boyfriend. Okay. So at this point, I'm like, I don't know what to expect. I don't know how she's gonna react, right? Is she gonna yell? Is she gonna scream? What do I do? Like, I was expecting like her to like, yeah, like, okay. So I was getting like ready to just, you know, like, see what I have to say, just be honest, like, just hold back the tears, like, whatever. Keep in mind, my dad is gone, like in that house doing something, like, just acting like I don't know what's going on. So, put her head down, like, at the computer desk, and she's just like, and I'm like, what is happening? Can you guys believe she started to bawl her eyes out, like literally cry her eyes out? I was like, what? Like, I was so confused. I was not expecting that reaction at all. She's crying, guys, bawling. And I'm like standing there, just like, what can I do? I rarely see my mom cry, and this is not the time I would expect her to cry. What? Like, what is happening? So in that room there was like a bed, like a guest bed or whatever. So I sit on the bed and I'm just like, and she goes, "You're too young for this. You're too young for this. You know, what does that even mean to you? What does a boyfriend even mean to you? What does that even mean? What is that?" And I'm like, well, someone that I like more than a friend, and we spend time together and we get to know each other, and yeah, just build a relationship. This is what I said at 15. Just build a relationship. What do you mean? Bawling. So I'm just like, this is awkward. Should I comfort her? Do I stand away? I just stood away. I didn't bother. I didn't get close. I was so like, what is happening? I thought she was gonna yell. I thought she was gonna tell me, like, you know, like, break up with him or whatever. And I think maybe at one point she eventually tried. She tried to, like, she hated that relationship. She tried to ruin it. And it was a good relationship. Even now, being like as old as I am, I look back, it wasn't a bad relationship at all. I think just for her, she just couldn't handle it. So yeah, she cried, guys. My mom cried when she found out about my boyfriend. Bawled her eyes out. And yeah, she walked away from the room, and I sat there like, did my mom just cry? Like, is that what just happened? And yeah, we didn't talk about it for a few days. I still kept my boyfriend. We dated for a while after that. She hated the idea, okay, of it. She didn't come around ever. She was like, you know what, now that I think of it, no. She was just like, bye. Like, why is he here? Who's that? Like, she just was not the sweetest apple in the bunch during that time. But yeah, that is basically the story of how I made my mom cry. Because I was a little in love, a little puppy love, you know, and she just wasn't ready for her baby to, I guess, to grow up or whatever, or she just felt like, I think for her, maybe it was a realization that, like, she couldn't really stop me. You know what I mean? There's only so much you can do because I'm gonna go to school. I can find, especially then, like I could email him. There's so much ways to contact each other. So like she could only do so much. Like I had to make the choice to listen to her or not. So so yeah, that's it, y'all. That's it. And she hates the story. She laughs at the story all the time because she's like, oh my gosh, whatever. She needs to get over it, get over it. But yeah, she definitely bawled because she's like, yo, my kid is growing up and I don't think she knows like what that's all about. Like she just was just scared, you know. And usually maybe parents would probably cry in their room when their child's not with them, but I don't think she could hold it in. I think she was just like, yo, this is just too much, I can't. So yeah, thank you guys for listening to my little story today, my first little story time. Is the like, comment, subscribe, and share this video, and hit the notification bell at the top, below, side, wherever it is. And yeah, come back another time. Love you all.